At 11:42 p.m., my phone buzzed like a warning siren. Sharp, impossible to ignore. A message from my dad. "We've agreed. You're no longer part of this family. Don't come to any gatherings. No calls, no hesitation. Digital exile. No explanation, no argument. Just an erasure of years in one clean sentence." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't beg for a reason. I just opened my laptop, pulled up every record, every payment, every favor I'd quietly done to keep the family afloat. And I started clicking, canceling, severing the invisible strings I'd spent my life tying. By 11:55 p.m., the first flicker of consequence appeared. The heating in the old Rivers house, long paid by me, went dark. Phone lines, utilities, accounts, everything I'd quietly maintained, started to fail. Before I go further, tell me where you're listening from, so I know I'm not alone. So many of us have felt the sting of family betrayal before the world even knows. The silence in my small apartment, lit only by my laptop, was heavier than the streets outside. The hum of the fridge, the faint ticking of my clock, they all sounded like witnesses. My hand hovered over the keyboard. Heart steady. No anger, just clinical precision. 4 years, I had been the silent caretaker. The one who paid property taxes when the mortgage teetered. The one who made sure the water stayed running, the car insurance never lapsed. Kayla, my younger sister, had never been short on charm or entitlement. Mom had always preferred her smile to mine. Dad. He had learned to survive by staying quiet. And me. I survived by keeping everyone else's chaos from touching them. I remember the first time I wired money for Mom's business crisis. I was 24, barely managing my own rent, but I didn't hesitate. That night, she called me her guardian angel. I believed her. Then came Kayla's tuition, my dad's emergencies, the bills that never ended. Funny how angels end up footing the bills in hell. I rubbed my eyes. Regret. None. Only clarity. This wasn't a breakdown. It was a balance sheet. I wasn't losing family. I was collecting evidence. The last time I'd seen them in person was 6 months ago, at Mom's birthday dinner. Mom had corrected my posture in front of everyone. Kayla had bragged about a business trip that I knew was a week-long getaway to the Bahamas. Dad cracked a joke about how I was too serious to enjoy life. I smiled through it, swallowed the bitterness. That table had been a courtroom. And I had been the defendant without knowing it. Now, sitting alone, I opened a new spreadsheet. Date, amount, reason, proof. Column by column, I traced the debts of care, the costs of quiet loyalty. Outside, city lights blinked like Morse code. Somewhere out there, my family slept, thinking I had accepted my exile. Little did they know, I was just getting started. By morning, my phone was a museum of missed calls. Dad, Mom, Kayla. Names glowing like relics of a family that had never truly appreciated me. I didn't answer. Not a single one. The first text wasn't from Dad or Mom. It was from Kayla. "You're overreacting. Mom didn't mean it that way. Can we talk?" Talk. As if that word hadn't been poisoned over years of manipulation. I read it once, then again, then deleted it. There was no apology, no acknowledgement of their betrayal. Only control wrapped in concern. I returned to my spreadsheet. Each line a memory turned into math. The day I covered Kayla's tuition. The overdraft fees from Dad borrowing my card. Every dollar a story, every story ending with me cleaning up their chaos. By 9 a.m., Mom sent an email. "We need to talk about what you've done. You've created a mess. Call us immediately." No apology, no mention of their midnight text. Just a command. Fixer. Peacemaker. accountant of their mistakes. I typed back calmly. I'm busy reconciling accounts. You should do the same. The phone rang immediately. I let it buzz until it stopped. By noon, panic set in. Dad, can you explain the utilities? Mom's losing it. Kayla, why are you doing this? You're ruining everything. Ruining everything. As if my silence had been the crime, not their betrayal. I opened my banking app. Years of transactions. Evidence. Clarity. Precision. Anger had no place here. Only calculation. By 3 p.m., every tactic had been tried. Pleading, anger, nostalgia. Mom posted a vague Facebook status. Some people forget who raised them once they start making money. Pride comes before destruction. 36 likes. I took a screenshot. Proof. At 6 p.m., I called Julia, my college friend and family law attorney. I think I'm ready to stop playing accountant, I said. Then start documenting everything. Make it official. That night, every email, every transaction, every transfer was labeled, archived. By midnight, my inbox looked like a courtroom. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't on trial. By the second night, the quiet had rhythm. My laptop glowed in the dark. Each tab a doorway into years of unpaid loyalty. Mortgage, insurance, tuition, taxes. They had built their comfort on my silence. I was done footing the bill. At 11 p.m., Julia called. Everything ready? Every receipt, every transfer, I replied. Then you're not asking for repayment, Natalie. You're enforcing it. A formal notice. Calm. Factual. Lethal. Subject. Outstanding balances. Rivers family accounts. Body. This email serves as formal notice of reimbursement due. You have 30 days to initiate a repayment plan before legal action is taken. No threats. Just truth. When I hit send, the silence wasn't empty. It was alive. 12 minutes later, the first responses came in. Dad, let's be reasonable. Mom, how could you do this? Kayla, you're insane. You're ruining everything. Steady, detached, I watched panic spread. I hadn't yelled, hadn't demanded. I had simply stopped playing the role they had assigned me. By dawn, Julia had drafted the legal notices. By morning, certified emails and letters were sent. By noon, their panic had reached a fever pitch. Mom posted another wall of self-pity on Facebook. Aunt Gina's comment cut through. Disgusting behavior. I'd be ashamed. By afternoon, official notices arrived. Utilities shut off, mortgage account frozen. My instincts, once used to protect them, were now my power. By nightfall, Mom arrived at my apartment, red-eyed, clutching an envelope. Natalie, please, we're losing everything. Do something for Kayla. I handed her the eviction notice Julia had filed that morning. You'll get the official copy in 7 days, I said. Her face drained of color. She searched for the daughter who had always fixed, forgiven, funded. That version of me was gone. Goodbye, Mom. I closed the door. By next afternoon, the chaos unfolded in perfect order. Utilities disconnected. Mortgage notices delivered. Legal proceedings underway. And for the first time in years, I felt unburdened. Weeks later, the final court documents confirmed it. The house sold, debts tied to their names, my freedom restored. Kayla sent a last text. You won. No one wins when family becomes dead, I replied, and muted her number forever. Outside, the city flickered indifferent. Inside, I sat quietly, breathing in the weightless peace of a life finally mine. A month later, I visited my grandmother's grave, tulips in hand, whispering, "It's done." Peace isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, earned. And that's when I realized something else. Freedom didn't come from anger, from revenge. It came from taking back control. From knowing your worth. From understanding that family, as we think of it, sometimes isn't about love, it's about responsibility misused.